Did Harry and Meghan get incredibly outplayed by the palace when it comes to the so-called peace summit that happened recently in London between one representative from the communications department of King Charles, two from the communications office of Harry and Meghan? This story was a bit of a shocker, but the more we get about it and the more I think about it, Harry and Meghan, of course, fell into a trap. While the couple are playing checkers, the palace is playing chess. And I'm going to tell you guys why I think Harry and Meghan completely bungled whatever peace summit thing this was supposed to be, because they did the one thing that they were not supposed to do. And whoever leaked it could have been the palace, it could have been Harry and Meghan. Again, Harry and Meghan did the exact wrong thing, which proves yet again why the couple cannot be trusted. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is. But if you guys haven't been to Royal News Network before, my name is Brittany. I do provide compelling royal commentary. So please hit that subscribe button. I would absolutely love to have you back. And before we get into the video, I got some very special deliveries from Anna Lucia Diamonds. I've been working with them for, golly, I want to say almost 2 years now, guys, which is so very exciting. And they have 2 new limited edition pieces. So these are pieces that are only available for a limited period of time. And I got sent both of them, and I cannot wait to show you the pieces. And the first I'm very excited about, it is a bracelet. And I did peek, guys, because I'm so bad. I like to peek. I honestly, I can't help but not peek. But I will let you guys get a view of these because this is absolutely, oh, it's spectacular. Hopefully it kind of settled well in the box here. Okay, you can totally see. Oh, no, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. This diamond dazzle. Let's see if it finally. This diamond dazzle bracelet here in gold. Oh my goodness, guys. This is absolutely amazing. So you get a bit, you get a bit of that tennis bracelet feel, but not the whole thing. And so it just slips on like so. And you have these 2 little ties at the end here where you can. So guys, it has these things that allow you to kind of tighten it. And oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Let's see. There we go. There are the diamonds. They glitter so well. Oh my goodness. Oh, this piece is stunning. So stunning. And I love that you can customize it to the length of your wrist, whatever that happens to be. And so, the glitter on my wrist. I love it so much. So this is, just to make sure I get the Golden Dazzle Diamond Bracelet. So again, this is available for only a limited period of time. And so if you're interested, you use code ROYAL20. You do save 20%. But let's look at the other piece here. And this is another special limited edition. It's called the Love Locked Pendant. And given the discussion that we're having today, I couldn't help but think of my grandma who passed a couple of years ago. And it's about remembering the love that leaves an impact on your heart. So let's go ahead and check out. You can see it there. The camera picks it up. It's such a pretty piece. It's such a pretty piece. Oh my goodness. Oh, it has kind of a teardrop shape. Again, kind of reminding you of the love that leaves an impact on your heart. So we will put this on today so I can switch out my jewelry. Oh, and it has a mixed metal. So we have sort of a white gold and plated yellow gold. So this is really pretty, guys. So pretty. So both of these pieces are available at Anna Lucia right now. I will put a link up above and a link down below. And if you click the links and go there and use the code, again, ROYAL20, you shall save 20%. So you'll see this flashing throughout the video. And I wanted to point out here real quick as well that this shirt might look somewhat familiar because Catherine wore a recent shirt that looked a lot like this, and it was Ralph Lauren, no longer available. However, I was at the mall yesterday or the day before, and I happened to be in Ann Taylor and saw basically a dupe of that shirt. So this is a dupe right here. I think it's lovely. It looks so good. So if you guys are interested, I'll also link that as well, because I like to go when I'm shopping, and I have a fashion channel dedicated to royal fashion. I will go through, and if I see something that looks like something a royal has worn, generally I buy it always mean to share it and then always forget. But today I was like, okay, I got to put this on and show you guys because it seems to be almost an exact dupe for what Catherine wore. I believe it was not last week, but the week before. So if you guys are interested in something like this, just a simple button-up t-shirt. It's from Ann Taylor, on sale right now with them. And I think it's a great look. They also have a short sleeve one. This is a small, actually. Only my arm's a little bit tight. So I was going to get the medium, but when I was in the store, they didn't have one. So I went with the small. And it does fit. So that works for me. So guys, just wanted to point that out there. And we do also have the Waleses at Wimbledon, but I think I'll do a separate little video on that rather than doing one here because I don't want to take too long to get to the story because we did have the unboxing and I did want to make sure I shared about the t-shirt as well. So let's get into this whole Peace Summit situation because this thing is complex in some ways. And I want to address a couple things first. Number one, there is nothing wrong with family members who want reconciliation to seek reconciliation. I feel like a lot of people put their own emotions into this situation, but at the end of the day, it is a family. And yes, Charles needs to think about the future of the crown. So I always want to separate the crown half of the equation from the family half of the equation. I believe if family members want to reconcile, if forgiveness is asked and given and everybody is on the same page, reconciliation is a good thing. Now, this is different in the case of the crown half of the equation. And what I mean by that, for the future of the monarchy, Harry and Meghan are no longer part of the equation. So I think it is good to firmly separate them in terms of the crown. Now, when it comes to the personal dynamics, Charles is a man with cancer. He's in his late 70s. He wants a relationship with his grandchildren, and I cannot fault him for that. Now, I will also specify as well that while reconciliation is something that should be addressed and should be pursued if there is an avenue for that, and I know people disagree with this, but it is healthy for people to seek reconciliation. I truly do. And that does not mean, though, you forget. That does not mean your relationship is the same. Whatever relationship Harry has with his family has been profoundly changed by his relationship with Meghan Markle. It will never be the same. They will always approach him with trepidation. They will always be hesitant to bring him into his confidences for the rest of their lives. Always. That has not changed. But if Charles, let's say, wants to spend time with his grandchildren, wants to figure out a way to make Harry and Meghan happy enough to do that, I do not fault the man for pursuing that. I don't feel like he should be criticized for that either. Because again, there's a difference, ladies and gentlemen, between the crown and the personal family dynamics. Yes, they interplay, but I truly believe you can address the Harry and Meghan situation both on the family side and the crown side and have different outcomes. So that doesn't mean if Harry reconciles, all of a sudden he's a working member of the royal family. No, that's not what this means at all. William definitely does not want that. But Charles wants to have a personal relationship, and I think that is something that should not be criticized because he is human like everybody else. I think people, again, put their own emotions into it and their own emotional reactions to these situations. And I don't think it's particularly helpful because Charles is experiencing cancer. He is continuing to undergo treatments. He doesn't know how much time he has left. And he wants to, for his own benefit and for his own family's benefit, maybe even for the benefit of William too, try to reconcile with Harry. And yes, Harry's behavior has been absolutely deplorable. That is not saying so at all. And I come at this from a Christian perspective, which believes in forgiveness and reconciling. We reconcile with God. I think it's important for Harry to reconcile with his family if there is a route to achieve that. But with a huge caveat from Charles's end that concerns me because I don't see enough of this, which is that no true reconciliation can happen until Harry admits his fault in the whole disaster of his relationship with his family. The only one who's damaged Harry's relationship with his family is Harry. It's nobody else. He has to admit, yeah, Spare was incredibly, insanely stupid. So was his show. So was Mexit. Everything he's done in the last 5 years has been an epic train wreck led mostly probably by his wife. And the resulting chaos, the resulting fallout of the Oprah interview, Spotify, Netflix, Spare, everything is Harry's fault. Harry is at fault. Harry should come on bended knee begging for forgiveness. That's the only way this thing can go forward. I think Charles is a little bit weak on that because he is so desperate to reconcile. But Harry will walk all over him again unless Harry apologizes profusely for his abhorrent behavior in the last 5, 7, 8, 9 years. It's the only route forward. The only route forward. If that can be achieved, that is not a bad thing. So, what does this mean for this so-called peace summit? So, let's look at this. This story first came out in the Daily Mail and they were caught out. And the big question is, of course, who leaked this? And there's so many people who have so many Machiavellian conspiracies about how Meghan leaked this to shove Catherine off the front pages with Wimbledon. I don't think so because number one, there was no guarantee Catherine would be at Wimbledon until basically a couple hours before she was at Wimbledon. So to have a meeting set up and just like set it up within hours once it was announced she was going, like you could suspect she was going, but you didn't know until it was confirmed that she was going. I think sometimes people put too much Machiavellian intentions on Meghan. And yes, she is conniving, but she's not Machiavellian level, guys. She's beyond lower than that. She's not that actually good at being a Machiavellian figure. Because if Meghan was an actual good Machiavellian figure, she would have played her cards so much better. This is the worst Machiavellian like disaster thing I have ever seen, I think. It is an epic train wreck. So this whole Machiavellian aspect of this, not so much in play. So what was this so-called secret summit? So it was at a private club. So the Daily Mail got the deets. It says the secret Harry Peace Summit. King Charles and the Duke of Sussex's senior aides meet for talks near Royal Palace and first steps towards reconciliation. And strongest sign yet, both sides want to resolve bitter family feud. Okay, so number one, they are overly projecting. We don't know if this is reconciliation. We don't know if this is coordinating something in the future. Like, we don't really know. But we have heard a lot of talk of Charles wanting reconciliation. And again, I cannot fault the man for wanting that. If he can figure out a way to somehow get what he wants from Harry. Now, again, the challenge Charles has is that he cannot let his son walk all over him until Harry concedes his horrifically awful behavior. The status quo here should not change, in my personal opinion. So we don't really know what the purpose of this meeting was. This could have been like part of a natural process or whatever. And we'll get to, again, why I think the palace massively, massively played Harry and Meghan here, possibly, and proved, once again, the couple cannot be trusted. And so that makes any reconciliation effort here, whatever this happened to be, Harry and Meghan immediately ruined it. And again, I'm going to tell you why. So they were, and again, everybody calls it a secret peace summit. We have no clue what this was, guys. It says, sources said last week's meeting. So we know for sure this did not happen before Wimbledon. Although, again, they could have been holding it too. But, like, again, we're talking about a lot of moving pieces here. Initial step in the rapprochement process to restore the broken relationship between Harry and Meghan and the rest of the royal family. Aptly, the talks were held at London's private members club that champions international friendship and whose patron is the king. It is not known if it was Charles or Harry who extended the olive branch, but insider says the summit is the strongest sign yet of the determination on both sides to resolve the bitter House of Windsor feud. Now, to be fair to Charles here, although I feel like some people are putting way too much pressure on him to be like the conciliatory side, because Harry and Meghan, again, are the bad actors here. Then there are no other bad actors by Harry and Meghan. So when it comes to this whole quote-unquote peace summit thing or what have you, Charles is aware that to some, it looks bad that he's not trying to fix this. And I understand that. I think he should just own the minuscule amount of bad press that comes from this. Like, this is not even a big press issue, really. It's only a small number of people who are going, oh, shouldn't you reconcile with Harry? Nobody else cares. Nobody else cares. So if they're thinking here that there's this whole slew of people who are like clamoring for this reconciliation, it doesn't really exist. So I do want to be clear with that. Okay, it says there's a long road ahead, but a channel of communication is now open for the first time in years. There was no formal agenda, just casual drinks. There were things both sides wanted to talk about. And I don't think, again, this is necessarily bad, because they do need to talk somewhat. This does not mean, though, Harry has Charles's number and is directly calling him. Charles's calls are still being fielded by staff, and he is not talking to his son. The communications people are talking, but that doesn't mean father and son are talking. It just means that this is what happens with people who are in communications. They're trying to coordinate messages. And if they're trying to figure out something in the future, again, I mean, could there be a divorce coming? I mean, I think that's out of the realm of question. I also saw some other people talking about that Harry and Meghan really want the inheritance or whatever from Charles. I want to dissuade that notion right now, guys. There is no inheritance. There is pretty much no inheritance. The reason is that all monarchs pretty much, for the most part, with I'm sure minor exceptions, leave their money to the next monarch. And the reason is that you don't have to pay inheritance taxes on it. And so if you do that, it's a better route forward. So there is no inheritance for Harry. There's no like $20 million sitting in the bank for him from his dad. No. That's not how this works. It would just be left to William. And that is why, so the Grenville collection within the royal family, the Grenville jewelry collection, so Princess Eugenie's tiara, it was left by a woman named Lady Grenville. It wasn't a royal. It was an aristocratic family. And I don't know the intricacies of it, so I'd have to do some research on it. But she bequeathed the monarchy a bunch of jewelry in part to prevent her family from paying taxes on it. That's why I think Princess Margaret should have left all her jewelry to her sister. Her sister wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. Her children did, and so that's why we don't have the Baltimore tiara anymore. That's why we don't have some of Margaret's jewelry. It's because she left it to her kids instead of being smart and leaving it to the crown. That's how you should do it. Just my personal opinion on the matter. But it goes on to say, Harry was represented by Meredith Maines, his communications officer and head of household in Montecito, California, who flew in from Los Angeles. She met with Tobin Andre, the King's communications secretary at the Royal Overseas League, a 3-minute walk from Clarence House, the monarch's London residence. Also present was Liam Maguire, who runs the Sussex's PR team in the UK. So this does look like this is Charles's guy, and he does look a little shocked to see a camera guy there. And I don't know whose stupid idea it was to sit outside. I'm going to guess it's Team Sussex, but the stupidity of sitting outside meant that this meeting, people could capture pictures of it, and somebody told them they were going to be there. This is highly unlikely. It was a random paparazzi guy who happened to see them. This was coordinated. This was set up. And so this is him with Charles, and this is Meredith leaving with her Louis Vuitton purse and her Aquazzura pumps. So she's taking some notes from her boss here. It was Ms. Maines who organized Harry's BBC interview in May, in which he said he would love reconciliation with the royal family, but the king won't speak to me because of this security stuff. So she was responsible for that train wreck, I guess. Bravo, Meredith. Great job, by the way. just got to say, I'm sorry. Not meaning to criticize somebody else, just my personal opinion. Horrible idea, though. The Duke was referring to his removal from his security, which he, needed to whine and complain about for the 50,000th time. And so the trio were later seen chatting over drinks in the sunshine on the club's first floor garden terrace overlooking Green Park. After 10 minutes, they got up and resumed their discussions inside. The source said the summit was only the first step towards reconciliation between Harry and his father, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Everyone just wants to move on and move forward now. It was finally the right time for the two sides to talk. And what's actually interesting as well that you could read into this is that, yes, both sides are annoyed by the divide. They both are, and I don't blame them. This is a mess. This is an absolute mess. It is a Harry and Meghan mess. Harry and Meghan made mess. Harry and Meghan fueled mess. But it is a mess. And it doesn't really benefit any side in some ways for this quagmire to go on. Like, I kind of understand that from a PR's perspective. Nobody looks particularly good. But Harry and Meghan need to learn the profound art of shutting up. Shut up. Just shut up. We see Harry and Meghan's reaction. And they cannot help themselves but open their big old mouths about this through their communications team and tanking this whole thing. So my whole stipulation is that we don't know who tipped off the paparazzi. And if it was Harry and Meghan's team, I can totally see that. They wanted it to be seen like things are moving. However, I could also say this is Charles and his team just going, we want to look like we're trying to make progress, even if we're not really making progress. We want to look like we see that we're not this like stone cold institution cutting off Harry and Meghan. I get that because it does kind of play bad in some circles. So what though did Harry and Meghan do? How did Harry and Meghan so royally screw this up like they screw everything up in their entire lives? Well, again, it's all about shutting thy mouth. They cannot do it. And that's the problem. So this came from Victoria Ward, who's known to be somewhat friendly with the Sussexes, saying the couple were frustrated over leaked peace summit with King's aid. Oh, you're upset? Oh, you're upset that the thing you arranged got leaked to the press? Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, gosh. Oh, no. Oh, who could have predicted that? Sorry. Hard to ignore the sarcasm sometimes. So, Team Sussex is understood to be frustrated after details of a peace summit were revealed in a newspaper, denying it was behind the leak. So, they had met last week. They were papped on the balcony. Sources close to Prince Harry insisted that the Sussexes were not responsible and acknowledged that having the details of the meeting on newspaper front pages was hardly an ideal way to start what they had hoped to be a new period of peace. Buckingham Palace declined to comment. So, what did Harry and Meghan royally screw up here and prove once again that they cannot be trusted and that any peace or reconciliation is pointless because the two have not learned one simple thing: stop talking to the press. Do you know how they tried to resolve this situation and this leak? Is immediately go to the press and tell somebody, oh, we did not approve of this leak. Issue remains that Harry and Meghan cannot keep confidences. What they needed to do in this situation, once it leaked to the press, was shut up. Don't say anything. Shut up. That is exactly what they should have done, and that's the exact opposite of what they did. Because as soon as you talk to the press, you prove that you're not trying to solve your situations in private channels. You immediately go to the press to state your case. And that's what they've been doing for years now, and it hasn't helped matters. Even Meghan Markle, like, one of her big things she was upset about with the palace was not the alleged bullying online. No. It's that they wouldn't clap back on every single story. She wants to constantly try to correct the narrative. And this is exactly what they did here. Nothing has changed on Harry and Meghan's side. They're trying to solve their differences with the palace through the press when they should have just shut their mouths, been in Montecito, and let the silence reign. Let people speculate. They're going to do it anyways. Just let them go. Because what the palace just proved is that while Harry and Meghan may be playing checkers trying to do the peace deals, by immediately talking to the press, Harry and Meghan have proved they cannot be trusted. Because regardless of whether or not the palace leaked the meeting, the true test was whether or not Harry and Meghan could keep their mouths shut about it through their PR team. By the PR team stating, oh, we're frustrated, proves Harry and Meghan have not learned one single lesson. The lesson is silence. Silence is better oftentimes. There's something, even for me, when I'm on social media, especially on X, there's sometimes where I really do want to clap back. And I have clapped back in situations where I should not have and just let it go. Because it's often better to just let things go, let things die down, rather than going, oh my gosh, we're so frustrated. Who cares if you're frustrated? Doesn't matter. The big question was, and the big thing the palace should have been looking for is, okay, we reached out and had a meeting with Harry and Meghan's team. Awesome. Were they able to be quiet about that? Or did they have to go and talk about it? They went and talked about it, which proves Harry and Meghan, despite all the proclamations to the contrary endlessly, cannot keep confidences. They cannot keep silence. They would prefer to talk and get themselves into more trouble than just keeping their mouths shut. An American PR team might want to hit back, but that has not worked for Harry and Meghan ever. Best just to let the people, let's say, speculate and work privately through the palace. Yes, you might not get the outcome you want, because I think Harry and Meghan don't get the outcome they want privately, so they try to jam their message through publicly. But that's not the problem. The problem is that, yeah, sometimes you're not going to get your way and you're just going to have to suck it up. And the point, if you cared about reconciliation, is just to let the leak go. Maybe you're mad about it and maybe they didn't do it. Who knows? But they failed the assignment here. They failed. They completely and utterly missed the message, missed the point. And the result is now the palace knows. Again, Harry and Meghan cannot be trusted. They cannot keep their mouth shut. And when they don't get their way, when the narrative doesn't follow what they wanted to follow, when something goes out of line, they immediately go to the press rather than trying to resolve issues privately. And this beyond measure shows that even if Charles wants reconciliation, he has to recognize as well that his son and his wife will always try to undermine them. So guys, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of this supposed peace summit. Do you think my analysis of the situation is correct? I'd love to get your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Bye.